Impurities. Somebody has given me a help. Who is that? Huh? Who was it? Oh, interesting. Thank you. Interesting. Thank you. All right. So we're going to be continuing from the upakkilesa we left up. So that was Palasa, right? Yeah, Palasa was the one that we discussed finally. And then we will be having a discussion after. I would say Q&A after. Right? Insolence. Okay, so we discuss about Abija Voba. See? You can see, right? And Vyapada, Koda, Upanaha, Makha, and Palasa. What is Abija and Voba? Any thoughts? When you say covetousness, you might not understand properly what it means. Abija means extreme greed about what you have for your belongings, maybe for your family. You own them actually. Then the Visama Loba, now Visama is kind of a distortion. Visama Loba means unrighteous greed, which means by definition, extreme greed for what other people have. They are not belong to you. They don't belong to you. That's the first upakkilesa, mental impurity. Second, vyapada. We discussed about it. This is the expanded version of our anger, hatred, ill will. Then anger, koda. Then upanaha. A good way to translate is revenge, right? Which ultimately leads to resentment. Maybe because of resentment, revenge arises too. Makha, you say contempt, but makha means ungratefulness, right? So you depreciate, you devalue other people's help. So you are trying to cover moments when you are supposed to be grateful to others. Do people do that? Yes, sometimes they walk away slowly, secretly, because they don't want to appreciate. Maybe they know they are supposed to appreciate. So they slowly walk away. But this is the opposite of gratitude, makha. Makha means, now in Sinhala language, makha means to erase. So if you ask from a Sinhalese, give me the, makha means give me the eraser. So which means, makha means you erase what other people have done for you. Good stuff. Makha. And then palasa. Palasa means, we discussed about it, comparativeness, the sense of comparativeness that arises overpowering someone else. For example, towards a learned person, one thinks, what is the difference between you or me? That means comparativeness, in a way, how to outsmart someone, maybe emulate somebody. You are not able to do it, but you think that you can emulate, right? Palasa. I think we discussed that. Now in some viharas in some countries, they are holding katina ceremonies. So one family brings one elephant, this year katina. So the sponsors who are going to sponsor katina next year want to bring 2 elephants. So and then when they bring 3 elephants, there is going to be a big struggle. In case the elephants got intoxicated, katina will become a crash. So the nature of always trying to emulate. Then envy. Issa. The Pali word is Issa. Issa means jealousy. So this is the opposite of mudita. Mudita means, now there are lots of translations for mudita actually. Some people translate mudita to be sympathetic joy. Yeah? Different joys. And then altruism, altruistic joy. And some others translate this to be unselfish joy. Then, any other translations? Any other translations for mudita? Yeah, sympathetic joy here. Huh? What? Appreciative joy. Appreciative joy. Appreciative joy. Many translations. But mudita means being able to be happy with other people's achievements. That's the translation. That's the contextual meaning. So we don't know whether that can be fitted on to sympathetic joy, altruistic joy, unselfish joy, appreciative joy. So we have a problem when you are going to incorporate a contextual meaning into a wordy translation. So there come some of the issues. So envy is the opposite of mudita. It's an upakkilesa, one of the upakkilesas. Where does issa come from? How does it arise? Now we have three A. You have written that, lobha, dosa, moha. Now we know ditti is part of lobha. Then what else? Then what do you call domanassa? Domanassa is part of dosa. Then where does envy come from? Envy, palasa, makha, upanaha, koda, vyapada. Mostly, yeah? We know the first one definitely comes from lobha. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, mostly issa. Where do they come from? What is the akusala root for that? For them, actually. Mostly issa. Dosa. Because you don't like what's happening. So you are in conflict with the achievement of somebody. So issa arises from dosa. Right? And then avarice. Another simple translation is stinginess. Huh? Stinginess. We call it maccharya. Maccharya. This is an interesting state of mind. Maccharya. Avarice. So, any thoughts? In Dhamma, lobha and avarice or stinginess, they look mostly similar, but they are different. Now, lobha means that you don't give. You don't like giving to other people. But avarice, that means maccharya means you don't give, but you have a reason. You don't like other people enjoy with that particular thing that you are giving. Huh? That is called maccharya. So maccharya is more, I would say, terrible, right? Because you don't like other people enjoy your stuff. Lobha, there are people who are not simply giving. They are not simply giving. But when it is developed to maccharya, that you don't like other people enjoy. So we have a lot of stories about maccharya people. Remember any story? Remember somebody called Maccharya Kosya. He's a banker actually. Maccharya Kosya. This is not his name. This is his. This is a name given to him because he's Maccharya, stingy. Kosya. Kosya is a banker. One day he told his wife, "I want to eat some poopers." some specific sweet roti. But I want you to make it in a place where other people cannot join. So then they decided to go to the 7th floor. That day, the Buddha saw this man is going to be eating like this. So he asked Venerable Moggallana to go there and then to do something, a good thing. Huh? So once they started making the poopas, sweet rotis, Arhan Moggallana appeared in the sky, parallel into the floor, 7th floor. He was not happy about him. Now we were going to peacefully eat some roti, but this monk came. Huh? Now we cannot do it. So then he knew. So he started, giving some smoke with his powers, what you call levitation powers. So finally he thought, really a nuisance for our making of rotis. So he asked wife, can you make a small poop, a very small one? So make it a small pooper. So she put a very small one. Huh? It became the whole poop of the whole, pan. It became the size of the whole pan. So finally, he asked, can you give a small pooper that you already made? Then all poopers became stuck together. Now he was very fed up, said, give this whole pan to him. And then he did not accept. He said, I'm not going to accept. You bring this to Jetavanarama, so you can offer to the Buddha and other Sangha. So, Macharya Kosiya wanted to eat alone, eating alone. That's another concept. Have you seen people who like to eat alone? Yes, we also like to eat alone. But they would not like to share. Sharing is something very important. So, Macharya means that people who don't like to give because they don't like other people enjoy their food and other things. Right? As you understand, there are so many stingy people in Buddhist stories. They don't give things to other people, but when they die, the government confiscates the property. Right? Remember, once King Kosala came to see the Buddha with lots of cartload of stuff. Then he said, Bhante, today I am bringing lots of items from a man who had no children, so we have to confiscate all that. Right? So they are keeping all that till they die. But finally, they will be taken by the government. That's why it's better to give away. Huh? Better to give away. Somebody will enjoy. Because then you know that at your discretion, somebody will enjoy. Not at your discretion, somebody will take them away. So, Macharya is not a good one. So, I think this is pretty simple to understand. Not becoming stingy. Avarice. So, there's a difference between lobha and stinginess. And then we go to, any thoughts about Macharya? Any questions? Macharya. Okay. Then we go to deceit. We call it Maya. Maya, right? Interesting. Maya. Maya means, even Prince Siddhartha's mother name is Maya. Maya Devi. What does Maya mean? Maya means the nature of having done akusalas, somebody is going to conceal one's own akusala. They are not very honest about their akusalas. This is called Maya. Deceit could be a translation, as you can see. So whenever you misbehave in whatever the way, for whatever the reasons, you should be honest to yourself that you are not going to hide your akusalas to you initially. You might not share with other people. You don't have to, unless it is a private conversation that you deem necessary. But you should be able to accept by yourself. Because in the teachings, we understand when you become a sotapanna, you will never hide your akusalas. Only the sotapanna will not surely hide his or her own akusalas. How do we know that? Ratana Sutta. There is a stanza in the Ratana Sutta. Can you remember that? This is the other problem. You always listen to the chanting, never know the meaning. Because it's the monk's duty to chant for us. That's the issue. Now when I ask cross questions, I don't know. Kincha piso kammang karoti papakang kayena vacha udachetasawa ababbo sotassa patichadaya ababbata ditta padassa buddha idampi sange ratanam. Now we'll see. Kincha piso kammang karoti papakang. Probably we would take Ratana Sutta here. So you will see properly the meaning. All right. Verse number 11. There we go. Now see the translation. I don't know whether you can see this. Probably make it bigger. This is much better. Okay. Kincha piso kammang karoti papakang kayena vacha udachetasawa ababbo sotassa patichadaya ababbata ditta padassa buddha. Sotapanna person is incapable, not eligible of hiding whatever akusalas he or she does. By action, by word, by speech, by thought. Why? Because he has seen the path. He has seen the path. Now, the Pali word, whatever, kinchapi, kamma, whatever, papa kamma, by action, by speech, by thoughts, ababbo, ineligible to patichadaya, to conceal, maya, no maya, concealing one's own akusala. Sotapanna person is guaranteed that he or she would not conceal. So maya is an upakkilesa that many people are doing. They conceal their own akusalas. But one day you are not going to get over from them. When you die, they will come. You cannot purposely hide them. They will come, because we know that when we are weak with our body and mentality, we cannot do these things, hide. That's why we have to be honest about our akusalas. We have to do a review, a reflection before we sleep, right? So maya means concealing one's own akusala. Then fraud. Fraud means sateya. Sateya means there are different types of fraud people are doing. What are the sateyas? Yeah, sateya. Sateya means there are people who are doing things to get more respect, right? Get more respect, maybe give you a different idea about those people, right? The Buddha said, fraud is such a bad state of mind. Now in Dhamma we know it is called Miccha Ajiva. It is called Miccha Ajiva, fraud. Sateya, you can see over here. Sateya. Sateya. Especially this was given initially to the monks. We know that there was a monk in a temple on the top of a mountain. So when people go there, he hides in a big cauldron. Big cauldron, hides. And then people are searching him. They cannot find. And then after some time, he's coming up and asking, Bhante, what happened to you? You know, we can levitate. We can go anywhere because we have meditation power. So misleads people to get more respect. And there was another monk who was living on a top of temple, the mountain, top of mountain, and people come over here, and then when people go back to the bottom of the mountain, he will be there when they go there. So they found out he is using a rope. And people are confused. Oh, you're here. Yes, meditation. Jhanas. Jhanas. Misleads people, okay. He must have certain jhanas. Get more respect. That is on the side of monastics. What about the lay people side? You can mislead other people a lot. Huh? Buddha said these words, kuhana, lapana, nemitti kata. Don't worry about these Pali words, huh? I'll explain. Nippesi kata, labena labang nijiginsanata. So these are all fraudulent activities someone can do. Especially Miccha Ajiva. Kuhana means, now those activities just to get some respect so people become hypocritic, lay people or whoever. Kuhana. Lapana means there are people who are cheating you by talking, by giving a good talk. Right? So they are cheating, probably they can mislead people by giving a talk. Nemitti kata means there are people who can mislead you, do the fraud by showing certain nimittas, objects. One very famous story was there was a monk at the Buddhist times. He went for pindapata to a house. The lady in the house didn't want to give pindapata on that day. So she said, Bhante, I would go to another house, my friend's house. Let me see whether I can get some food for you. Right? And then she came back and she said, I'm sorry, I couldn't find food. Right? And then the monk said, yes, I knew that the moment I left the temple. Then he said to the devotee, I saw a dream, kind of a dream, that there was a cobra. At the time I was leaving the temple, that cobra is like the sugar cane in your kitchen. That means he had entered the kitchen while she went for finding more food. So it is like the sugar cane in your kitchen. Right? Then I was scared. I'm an unenlightened monk. So I tried to scare him away. So I grab a small stone. That stone is like the jaggery in your kitchen. Huh? So when the cobra saw that I grabbed the jaggery, he was very unhappy. He showed teeth. Those teeth are like the rice in your kitchen. Then the lady knew that she cannot cheat anymore. Both were doing not good things, the monk and the devotee. So the Buddha said, never ever make people embarrassed to get something. That's not nice. That is fraud. I think there are people who try to make other people embarrassed and get something out of it. That is bad. One of the ways of being fraudulent. Nippesikata means, have you ever seen people who try to blame other people, make them embarrassed, and then to get something out of it? They keep blaming whole day. So the other people feel very embarrassed and then give that to the person who was blaming. That is also one of the ways of being fraudulent. Labena laba nijigin sanata. Have you seen people who already have a certain profit, certain share, and they use that share to get more shares? You already have a gift, and you are using that gift. See, look, I have it. I have this thing. I think people do that, right? When they want to get something from a certain person, they say, you know what, I have something. So you have to give something better than that. Right? So use the dividend, the profit to get something more profitable. So all these are michcha ajiva, or I would say fraud. Right? And in modern world, you might see some bad marketing. Some bad marketing, and these companies of, not every company I would say, some of them, they are using certain tricks to, market. Scammers. Nowadays, scammers are really bad, calling you for different projects. They know your number, right? They know your number. Maybe you are not from here, but they know your number. They are having some connection to the towers, telephone towers. So, anyways, so there are a lot of ways to do the fraud. Credit card fraud, money money laundering, right? Lots of fraudsters are out there. So, we have to be very careful, right? So, fraud is one of the upakkilesas. Then, obstinacy. Obstinacy, what does it mean? That means stubborn. Gabbu, swollen. Swollen people become obstinate. Oh, I would say, see, gabbu. Gabbu means swollen. Now the Buddha said, if you cannot be a person who has lack of gabbu, be uppagabbu. Less swollen, right? Appagabbu in Metta Sutta. So, obstinacy means thamba. You can see here. Thamba means you are very hot-headed. Thamba. You are very fixated. You don't change your thoughts. You don't change your views, right? This is going to be really a mistake in our life, right? What can we think about this particular upakkilesa? This happens when we are not humble enough. We need to be humble. And so you can see stiffness, harshness, right? Inflexibility. Like flexibility is the opposite. Any stories have you learned from Buddhist teachings about thamba? One story is monk Channa. Who is Channa? The Buddha's driver, But Channa became a monk after some time. What happened to him? Channa was not happy because Buddha did not give him a position, right? Then he started saying, I am the one who was behind you, I was the one who helped you, right? Those normal things, that a lot of people say. And then, but I didn't get something that I feel good. And then the Buddha said that Arhan Sariputta and Arhan Moggallana, they are the eligible ones. So, they are the chief disciples. So, it's not just I know you, it is because by default, they are the eligible ones. He was not happy. Then he was trying to do certain things, and then what happened? The Buddha said, let's give him the capital punishment. Capital punishment is not hanging in Buddhism. Capital punishment in Buddhism means nobody is going to talk to that person. Stop talking. Such a bad one, huh? So, from that day onwards, Buddha and all the other monks stopped talking to him. It's really a bad punishment, so nobody talks to us if we given. So, Channa had a lot of thumb, right? And what about your family life, your friend circles? Are there people who don't like to listen to other people? They have lots of ego, right? They don't want to change. They want to take the last word out of a conversation. That means they have thumb, which is really a hindrance to our spiritual growth as a good person. Thumb. What are the other places where you notice this upakkilesa? Thumb? Do we see something from other suttas? What about the Metta Sutta? Do you see something relevant to thumb? Suvacho. Suvacho means? Suvacho. Being open to listen to other people. That is a good quality. That is not a good quality, not even a good quality. It's a skillful habit, right? Being able to listen to others. To the right people, not everybody. Kalyana mittas. Kalyana mittas. Are Kalyana mittas very important to us? Who is a Kalyana mitta? Yeah, who is that? You might say it's not, he or she is not here, right? Who is a Kalyana mitta? Kalyana mitta means someone who speaks good words, someone who acts with wholesome actions, someone who thinks wholesome thoughts. The Buddha said to us, you should have at least 2 Kalyana mittas in one sutta. 2 Kalyana mittas, mandatory. And he also said, don't worry, you already have 1 Kalyana mitta. That we all have 1 Kalyana mitta. Who is that? The Buddha. The Buddha. The other one? Other one? Will Kalyana mittas automatically come to you? If you are lucky enough. Yes. You got it right. Well, yes, you have to find out, unless you are not blessed enough. So we need 2 Kalyana mittas. So then we have the Kalyana mitta sampada. So we should be able to open up for the Kalyana mittas. They are very important to us. They are really guiding us in our Dhamma path and our life. They can become the light in our life. Without Kalyana mittas, we are going to fail in our Dhamma practice. We are going to fail in our life too, right? We need that kind of a friend. So, Kalyana mittas don't come to people who are thumb, because you are not flexible, right? You cannot. Actually, flexibility is a good term on the other hand. That means if you are not flexible enough, you cannot do anything. Because if you have a very hot-headed friend, even you cannot go on a trip, right? That person is very different. If you go on a trip, long-term trip, you cannot work with those people. So, thumb. Rivalry, saramba. This is an interesting one. Saramba. Saramba means, as you can see, what you call, now it says this is twofold. It can work in wholesome, unwholesome ways. This means that you want to outsmart. Now that one, what you call, palasa is that you want to compare in the first place, but saramba means you want to always outsmart, right? Anything. Let's say you do a good thing, you want to outsmart. Uh, Also, you want to do a bad thing, you want to outsmart. There's a kind of a rivalry going beyond Palasa. Now, Palasa doesn't have a rivalry. Palasa means you are simply trying to be comparative. But rivalry means that you are doing this good thing, kusala or akusala, in a way to outsmart the other person. Can you think about a good saramba? Have you seen some practitioners who want to do better than the other practitioners? How? How do they do so? Any examples? So they may use certain good virtues to outsmart other people, right? Even what you call the wrong ones, akusalas also, can be worked in that particular way. We call it saramba. Saramba. And then we have what you call other upakkilesas, but we will learn after we have a short discussion about the ones that we already discussed. All right. So, what are your thoughts about the ones that we already discussed? We discussed about Issa, Machari, and so forth. Any questions so far? Yes. What do you mean? Yeah. Yes. Yes. They feel bad? Can you rephrase the question again? Yeah, they also supposed to be guilty, but which is not happening all the time. That is why other people feel. At the same time, the person who is affected by those akusala qualities, upakkilesas, should understand I might get caught up with these akusalas also because of this person's behavior. Yeah, it can be. Yes. Other questions? Yes. Mm. No, no. Hindrances are a very basic definition of our akusalas, they are only focused on the samadhi part. They are 5, and they are only discussing as disturbances to attaining samadhi. But this list goes beyond that actually. This list goes beyond a samadhi. Hindrances are only for samadhi, just to attain samadhi. Samadhi will arise, samadhi will expire. But these are really impediments, obstructions to your Dhamma path, especially to become a Sotapanna, to become an Arahant one day. Hindrances are only 5 things that are only hindering you to attain samadhi. Samadhi is a basic thing. Now you see the context of these 16. They are very structured, more expanded than 5 nivaranas. Kamachanda, Vyapada, Uddhacca, Kukkucca, Tinamidda, and Vijakichcha. They are only impediments to attain samadhi. Just because you attain samadhi, it does not guarantee you will become a Sotapanna, right? And then the rest. But these 16 are really interesting because they are the major upakkilesas in our life, major ones. These are the ones we have to call as kilesas actually. In the Abhidhamma, but we call them in the suttas, in the Buddhas onwards, upakkilesas. Now, one difference is that if you can see, the Hindu people, they take 5 hindrances that are obstructions to samadhi. But they don't take these ones. Yeah.
Excuse sister, you need to use the
Yeah.
mic because they are recording.
Yeah, better go there actually. Okay. Asawa is a larger version of our akusalas actually. It's a name for all the akusalas actually. Yeah, but it does not specify every bit of akusala. Yeah. Asawa means the root level of our akusalas. It's like Lobha, Dosa, Moha and some of the very major classifications. But if we get to the bottom, we will see these 16. Yeah, this is how we can see our akusala. When you see Asawa, you don't see them very well. It's like a tip. When you get to the bottom of the iceberg, we can see these 16. You want to go to the mic? Okay.
Bhante, these upakkilesa are the description that we use to describe others. And most of the time we say, and for ourselves, we won't say like, I'm an angry person, I'm a fraud or whatever. Usually is someone else realize someone's action, right? So how can we help the others to realize that they have this upakkilesa, and at the same time maybe we ourselves have some level of it, but how can we increase our awareness to realize that we don't fall into or behave in this manner? Thank you.
Well, I mean, it depends. Probably you could be a good listener to that person's version, that is one thing, or to make a friendly conversation with that person, maybe to bring that person to a good teacher. Yeah, so there are different ways to do it. There's no only one way. I mean, a lot of people, they don't like to hear these things. I mean, so they have lots of ego. So better to have an open conversation about not exactly these things, in different ways, in how we can talk about these things. If you cannot, at least you can wish this way. May you have wisdom to understand yourself one day. If you know we cannot do much about that person, right? That's a good thing. Some people are too clouded otherwise. Yes. Mhm. Not necessarily. No, we think so. We think house is an impediment, hindrance to us. But if we know our mentality, our attitude, what is happening in our thoughts, I think we can minimize. Yes. So I don't think it's a problem. You may have to work with people in the household, but you know what you are supposed to do, right? So challenging, that is good because then we know what to do. But still we have to hold on to the practice. Yeah. The easy answer is to become a monastic. Just because you became a monastic, you are not making them happen, not all the time. So it is not something like you change your dress code or become a monk or nun. It is by conscious understanding about your household, you are going to overcome these 16. We'll be discussing the last 4 before we finish our discussion, but any questions? Yes.
You will show us how to overcome all this, right?
Yes. Yeah. First, I share with you the bad news, then the good news. Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah, better because we have an audience. Yeah.
Bhante, you mentioned there are 3 types of anger. One is carved on rock. The second one, the anger subsides easily. And the third one is just like anger being drawn on water. Does it mean a noble one will still have some form of anger, but it's just drawn on water? Is that what it means?
Till you attain anagami, non-returner, you have anger. Sotapanna person also has anger. Sakadagami person also has anger. Only when you become an anagami, you're going to overcome the whole anger. So anger will stay until you become an anagami person. So that's why we should not make it a big problem, Rather we try to manage it once it arises. So the person who is properly managing knows how to stop it in a short time possible. So anger is not evil if you know how to manage it. Right? Yes.
Bhante, just now you mentioned Sotapan will also get anger. Anger will still be there, and even Anagami.
Sotapanna's anger is well managed.
Sakadagami, or manageable.
Well managed, their anger. Still can become angry, but well managed.
Well managed.
Not
How about
like
Sakadagami?
Poorly managed.
How about Sakadagami?
it is better than a Sotapanna. They manage it better than a Sotapanna. Because they are going to, diminish patiga, anger, more than half of that anger. I think they have a very limited level of anger. Sotapanna has some anger, but Sakadagami diminishes anger, more than half of that anger. So they are not struggling a lot.
But will that anger arises too? I mean, manifested even in Sotapan?
Yes.
It means that it met with a person, and then it will arise like a normal person, but maybe it's manageable, but maybe, what do you call this, is they say that they still have anger, well managed, but will that still be manifested, but it may not, the degree may be less harming, and but maybe just scold the person?
Well, that's a well managed anger. Probably it might show, it might not show. Because Sotapanna has already seen the truth, the Aryamak. But still they can be angry. So just because somebody become angry, don't say this is an unenlightened person. Maybe a Sotapanna. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, but they are not angry for small minor things, trivial stuff, right? Not like the normal people, right?
Oh,
So, yeah.
Another one is that you say is that Anagami will, totally eradicate these
Yes.
angers. So means 4 jhana will be, to attain 4th jhana, 4th jhana will be actually totally eradicate angers.
Not 4th jhana, that is a jhana order. That is a jhana. If you look at people from jhanas, you will see that. But this is about the fetters. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Agami are. We have to see the fetters that are being eradicated by different people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so let's take a small break because we are going to continue till 9 o'clock. Yeah, have some refresh. I will see you in 10 minutes. Okay. Come up with more questions.